Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is MyVanMonty. Back up in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, doing a little camping tonight at Hancock Campground. I'm gonna stay here tonight, and then I'm gonna hike the Hancocks tomorrow. Pay the Iron Ranger. It's supposed to be super rainy, but so far it's been relatively light. Hopefully it's gonna clear up a little more for tomorrow. Hope for at least not drenching rains while I'm hiking. Coming from the parking lot, about to start the Hancock Loop trail. Cool thing about this, or not so cool thing about this, is you have to cross the hairpin turn on the Kangamangas Highway. Be careful right off the bat. Hustle across the road, and then get into the trail. And there we are. We're on trail. Got a little bit of rain yesterday and last night, so I'm sure the conditions are going to be wet today. It's not too chilly. It's actually 50 degrees, so it should be decent hiking weather. I'm just hoping that the rain clears off. I got my rain jacket on already because it was spitting a little while ago, but I'm hoping that comes off soon. This is actually a birthday hike for me. Today's my birthday. Level 53. Stayed at Hancock Campground last night. Slept great. It was super quiet. Had a little pitter patter of rain, and then got up this morning for my birthday solo hike. I didn't do any hiking over the winter. The last hike I did, I think, was Trailhead, and that was in like late October, early November. Happy to get back to it. First and only major water crossing, I think. So we just got to be careful not to step in the water. And that didn't work. I haven't done this in a while, you can tell. My boots are waterproof, went up ankle deep in the water, and my feet are still dry, so that's a bonus. I'm just giggling to myself about how funny falling into the river felt, let alone I wish I would have had another camera set up to see how it actually looked. Thankfully, I stayed on my feet and just stepped in the water a little bit. About a mile in, finally coming up to little bits of ice on the trail from the monorail. Not too bad. Alright. Now they're being a pain in the ass. Looks like I got a spot over there now. We're going there. Quick. Ready? Boom! So that trail merge sign is about 1 3/4 of a mile in. I actually think I'm going to take my sweatshirt off too. Definitely mud season. The sounds alone are just not appetizing. Now that's tough to navigate. Another one that's, you could say, relatively tricky. That was totally just a hop, skip, and a jump, and hope I make it. And I made it. I'm not looking forward to doing that on the way back though. There we are, Hancock Loop trail merge, almost 2.5 miles in, an hour and 20 or so. The river crossings have been the excitement for the day. I didn't expect there to be so many water crossings. And water crossings this time of year are obviously much more difficult because the snow melt is coming down, the rivers are running heavier, makes it very challenging. And that last one was super challenging. There's no way you make it across that one without stepping your foot in the water. It's been like that all day. Jump and pray. It's been relatively flat for the most part, and now it's supposed to start climbing. Yeah, baby. I've reached the Lollipop. The South Peak Trail is that way. North Peak goes down and up this way, so it goes down for a little bit and then shoots straight up. Here's the monorail that's left. That wasn't fun. That was very hard and slippery. Now that we hiked down that, we have to go up. It's supposed to be very steep for the next half mile. You can't really get a gist of how steep it is, but it's pretty steep. Looks like it was definitely windy up here last few days because there's pine branches and blowdowns all over the place. It smells good though. Every video I've watched of people climbing Hancock talk about there's a little bit of a climb. Well, there's a lot of a climb, and it's still going. It's still going up. I didn't expect it to be this long of a climb, and it's beating the shit out of me for my first hike of the year, so it's not going fast. First really clear view so far. Well, got a little bit of a clearing. It's going to be very windy, I think. Here's your top of North Peak. That's it. That's the summit. So that's the outlook. White ale. Level 53. I'm gonna go sit in the trees, have some lunch, enjoy my 53rd birthday beer, and then hike down. It's pretty windy and cold at the top here, so I'm going to start heading over to South Peak, and maybe I can find a little protected area that I can have lunch over there. The monorail here is pretty much a pain in the ass right now. You gotta straddle on either side of it. That looks totally natural, right? I'm guessing we're supposed to go that way. the colors in this spot just got bright green. I'm watching my feet, trying not to slip on the ice here, and I look up and everything's like a bright, bright green. This one you can really see the strap, the pull marks on it. And trees like that fascinate me. I just think they're so cool. And wondering how many years they've been like that. Here's my snowiest section so far. This spot is holding on to the snow. Just passed my first group of hikers today. A group of 8 seniors, probably in their mid-60s to mid-70s. All of them geared up nicely, all of them with their spikes on, and all of them really tall. I felt very short, but very nice. It's getting very windy as I get closer to South Peak, and the clouds are getting a little thicker. There's supposed to be another storm coming through later this afternoon, but maybe it's arriving earlier, so I'm gonna have to pick up the pace. This is the top of South Peak, and we head down that way. Starting to rain. Almost 6 miles exactly to the top. Just took like a 10-minute break to eat a sandwich. Had a couple people pass me going both ways. The merge on the way back might be busy. It's a little windy at the top, and the clouds have come through a little bit, and the rain is starting. Down isn't as strenuous, meaning your heart doesn't get pumping as hard and breathing heavy, but it is much more technical and stressful and not strenuous, just stressful, because I got to deal with this and the rain now. Hooray, finally made it back to the stick of the Lollipop, and time to head back down Cedar Brook Trail. Yeah, and I think that took maybe 3/4 of a mile. It took me about an hour to get down all that ice and snow because it was a little tricky and I went super slow. So now let's see how long it takes us to get back out to the car. We're back to the water crossings. I wish I had a second person to get me going across because it's not pretty. But I made it. You can go. I'm not take it. I'm not going fast. Good job. Tell you what, the last mile out is always the longest mile, because you're like, ooh, I'm almost done, and it just goes on forever. I'm tired. Had a little bit of everything today. Had some howling winds, some rain, snow on the trail, ice on the trail, definitely wet trail. Went ankle deep in the water a couple times, which is fun, but thankfully my feet surprisingly stayed dry. I'm just starting to feel a little bit of dampness on the top of my feet, so other than that, good to go. I think I'm like a quarter of a mile to the trailhead, and then I can take my pack off and relax for a little bit. And we are back to the hairpin turn to the Kangamangas Highway. I'm definitely not in hiker shape. Nonetheless, that was a good one. Happy birthday to me. Very happy I did it. Very happy the weather held out for me. That's 12 and 13 of the 48 4,000 footers. Another great adventure and a great time, rain or shine, in MyVanMonty. Cue the music.